Hello guys, Michael Grubb, Evolve Ministry. I'm on a set. So, we have to address something because some things have come up, and we've even had things like this in the past. When it comes to Evolve Ministry, as we have stated a few times on many of the videos, that we have many imitators, but there's only one Evolve Ministry. Well, we've had numerous students that have come in, coming out. Some will come in, come out, and some believe that they are knowledgeable enough to go on and teach on their own. And as we find more and more that some of these people, and they're not certified, we have not certified them as teachers. They just come in and they themselves believe that they have learned enough that they can just go out there and teach others.
And run with it.
Yeah, just
run with the little bit that they know and lie about the things that they don't know.
That's right. We want to ensure that people understand we have nothing to do with those people.
And we're also not responsible for what happens if you decide that you want to learn from those people. Because if they're not associated with us, then there's really nothing that we can do about that. We can't force other people to do anything. That, you know, people are going to do what they're going to do. But you need to know the risks involved if you decide to participate in that sort of thing.
And just because they say that they were students of ours doesn't mean that we've certified them. And if you're trying to save a little bit of money here and there by going to those people, and then you end up getting disappointed because you didn't get any results, well, that's kind of on you. And understand this: results in any fashion are always dependent upon the student anyway. The student is the person. We give the knowledge out. Any teacher will give the knowledge out, and then it's up to the student to work out that knowledge, to practice, to discipline themselves in order to get those results. Now, I do understand that when you're learning from a teacher that really doesn't know what they're talking about and doesn't really understand what they're doing, you're going to have a hard time learning anything. So this is the reason why, one of the reasons that we do the seminars is to ensure that when our students come out, they learn and they do the stuff for real. And so when they leave, they've got real knowledge, and real knowledge that they can implement. Real knowledge that they have learned and can actually apply for future reference. But if you're learning from someone strictly 100% on the internet, and they don't even do live stuff on the internet, which, by the way, we will be doing live seminars internet-wise soon. So
keep an eye out for that.
Keep an eye out for it. We're going to be making that available for people who can't come out and do the live seminars in person. Nonetheless, if this is just something that you're learning strictly on the internet and you're not the type of person that goes out there and applies the knowledge that you're taught in the first place, you're probably not going to get a lot of results, and then you're always going to be wondering whether the stuff that you're learning is actually genuine. So, like I said, we put that to the test all the time. We go places. The way Lisette learned, she came out and was taught in person, okay? And then we knew each other for a long time before any relationship started. But that's the way Lisette learned, was face to face on the spot. She didn't find me on the internet. And you know, it just goes to show that if you find the right teacher is going to teach you the proper techniques, and you will learn something from them. But keep in mind that there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of people out there who are not genuine. There's a lot of people out there who will take your money because they can.
Yep.
Okay?
They'll tell you anything that you want to hear.
That's right. And we're not like that. We will turn down students. I will turn you down if I think you are a power-hungry, power-oriented person who is just there in order to basically capitalize off of a situation, all right? I don't like knowledge going into the wrong hands, so I will turn you down flat. But there's a lot of people out there, just to get that cash from you, they're going to tell you everything that you want to hear. And then the next thing you know, you find yourself, you haven't learned a thing. Again, like I said, on the flip side of that, it also throws a lot of responsibility into the court of the person who is trying to learn.
Wow.
Because some people think that just because they take the course, as soon as they get the course, that's going to magically be the thing that teaches them. They're not going to have to put their time or effort or energy into learning. And that's not the way things work. There are no shortcuts. Subliminals don't work. You don't just go to our site and click the regular course membership, and then as soon as you click it, you've automatically magically become a master.
Yeah, that's not how things work.
It doesn't work that way. You have to put in the time. You have to practice.
And it's going to take your whole life, and then some. You're going to always be working on bettering yourself, always. There's never a time where you're really, like, done, at least in this particular form.
Nope. Now, I also want to say this. There's going to be people out there who are going to make outlandish claims about what they can or cannot do. The one thing that Evolved Ministry practitioners, whether they be the students or the teachers, we do not talk about what we can or cannot do. We do not brag about any of it. If anything, we film what we do, we post what we do, and we move on. But you're not going to hear us talk about what it is that we can or cannot do, and we don't make claims. You find a teacher that's making tons of claims, I'm going to tell you this, they are full of crap. And like I said, there's a lot of people out there that they know how to fake things on YouTube. They know how to fake things on video, and that they will make all sorts of claims. But I'm going to tell you this. The person that makes those claims and the person that makes the false videos, they will eventually be found out. It all comes back around. All of it comes back around. If you are the type of person that puts bad material out there, and you knowingly and willingly put false material out there in order to profit off of other people, that's going to come back to you in a way that you wish you had never done it. So
Yeah.
there are always the balance. That pendulum swings, and when it swings, it comes around like a freaking hammer. So if you are one of those teachers out there that are lying to your students, if you're one of those teachers out there that is presenting false information, trust me, it's not going to last for long. Heck, you can even go 10 years doing it. But the moment that it comes back around to slam you, it'll be in a way, like I said, that won't stop. It'll keep coming, and it'll get worse, and it'll get worse, and it will dig into you until every last penny that you got is gone. I've seen it happen before. And I've seen it happen on a few occasions. As a matter of fact, you know, I will say this, one of my first students, and he was the guy that I basically trained the most, okay? He had more knowledge than any other student I've ever trained. This particular guy ended up using his stuff for the wrong reasons. And once he went that route, the universe came back around and took every last dime that guy had. As a matter of fact, he didn't even have a home by the end of it, and he had to be freaking moved out. He had to call up his relatives so that they could send money to him so he could leave, because where he was at here, he had drained out every resource that was available to him. It was over. And like I said, that guy, I actually trained him and gave him more knowledge than any of my other students have. And at this particular point, that knowledge is basically useless to him. He can't use it anymore. It was taken. So imagine having that knowledge and you can't make it work. That's the type of thing that the universe can and will do. So again, for teachers out there, I'm going to say this. If you are a student and then all of a sudden you magically think that you're able to teach, trust me when I say this, until you have reached a certain level, you shouldn't think about it.
Agreed. It's very irresponsible, because at that point, you've now started influencing someone else's life, like decision making and everything, and that's somebody's evolution at stake. That's their lives, their
Spirits.
future, their souls, you know, and it's very irresponsible. It's not a good thing to do, and karmic wise, not good either. And some people are so, I'm gonna just say egoic, and they think that they're good enough to be able to teach something, but to be honest, unless you've gotten a proper education in anything in life, you shouldn't be practicing that particular skill. What if you had a doctor or a surgeon who didn't finish med school and they were operating on you to save your life? Well, that's kind of pretty much the same thing that's happening with some of these people. You know, they don't have a proper education or training in this type of field, and they're working with somebody's soul, their soul essence, and that could hinder that person from moving on, like past this life, from going on to different places and doing different things. You could literally hinder somebody's evolution, and that's a big deal. That's not good. Because imagine how much that means to you and how much you value that.
We even saw, expanding upon what she said, we saw that when this one particular situation happened some time ago, and I'm not going to be specific about it, but once that situation fell apart, there were so many people that didn't even want to go back to learning that thing.
Yeah.
Okay? So many people had been hurt from that situation. So many people gave their trust out. And all I'm going to say is about that situation is there was a very irresponsible teacher. That very irresponsible teacher did things that he should not have done.
He was very, very egoic. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say gender, but
Yes, he. That teacher that teacher messed up extremely bad, and then there were a lot of people who ended up being, and when I say hurt, I mean they felt like their souls had been completely stamped on, and they didn't feel that they could trust anything in the spiritual world ever again.
Yeah, they felt betrayed, definitely.
Completely betrayed. As I start everyone off on the basics, I don't even want anyone to consider anything more advanced until they have learned the basics enough. And you know what? I've only found one student out of all the ones that I have trained that was able to absorb enough knowledge to go to that next level. One student. He's no longer my student. And guess what? He also is not on YouTube, and he doesn't have a website. All right? So I can tell you this, you're not going to find the guy. But I will say this. He's one of the few people on this planet that had the knowledge to do stuff way beyond aerokinesis. All right? So I can tell you this, like I said, and there's a lot of people that come to me, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Can I learn this? Can I learn that from? Can I learn to shoot fire out of my hands? Can I do levitation? You need to worry about the basics first. And until you understand even the bare bone basics, guess what? None of that other nonsense is going to happen.
And don't worry yourself with things that don't apply to you right now.
Precisely.
They're simply, at this point, distractions from your end goal.
That's right. You know, the abilities are nothing more than a side effect. It's the connection that you should be looking for at all times. That is the very thing, because that's what got me beyond the basic stages. I never ever even cared about the abilities. I thought that was just whatever. The reason why I show abilities on YouTube is to show the possibilities of what the connection entails. The possibilities. That's it. And there's a lot of people out there selling you something other than the connection. And if they're trying to sell you abilities first, that's the first thing that they're trying to sell you, you found the wrong teacher. Like I said, I never cared about the abilities. The one thing I wanted to know was whether I could actually connect with the universal intelligence, or what they call God. That was the thing that I cared most about. And through my work in doing that and my diligence, I was rewarded with much, much more. Much more. But if you're trying to do this just because you are a power monger, don't even contact us. Because that's not where we're at in our minds. We are in a whole different place, and we do not care about the abilities. We just, again, show you the abilities, because I can't show you a connection. I can't prove to you that that connection exists unless I show you an actual example that the connection exists. And the example that the connection exists would be something like being able to connect into the environment, or show you a bit of aerokinesis and telekinesis. But that is not the reason why I'm showing it to you, is to sell you the abilities. I don't care about the abilities. We are trying to get you connected, so that way you can move forward in your own personal evolution. Okay? We're trying to get people harmoniously connected with unconditional love, and with each other, with animals, with the trees, everything that exists. That is our goal. We don't care about the abilities. Matter of fact, Lisette, how often do I practice my personal abilities?
Almost never.
So,
more than the average person who doesn't do it at all, but for you, almost never.
exactly.
For what you could do it for. Only for fun sometimes, when it's absolutely necessary.
For teaching. Yep.
Or
That's pretty much it. I don't go outside and sit there and start jacking with the system, the trees, the wind, the weather, and all that other stuff. I don't do it. There's so many things I'd rather do than that. I do that when it's time to teach people, or I do that if I have a specific task that I am to perform. All right, folks.
It's been fun.
It's been fun.
It's been real.
Just letting you know, make sure that you use discernment, keep your eyes open, and don't sit and allow yourself to be fooled by a fancy talking teacher or someone claiming that they are a teacher.
True.
So, and you're going to get a lot of those people. Talk to you later. Much love.